She's back. Oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton is back, ladies and gentlemen. And why? Well, the spies are coming home to roost. Remember, in September 2021, on the 16th of September, Special Prosecutor John Durham, from direction from the grand jury, filed an indictment against Hillary Clinton's former attorney, Michael Sussmann, regarding this whole Russian hoax situation and spying on Trump. And then just recently, Friday, February 11th, 2022, Durham filed another motion regarding the conflict Sussman may have in his criminal trial. And as a result of that filing, bombshell information was distributed to the public, and Hillary is right in the middle of it. Don't forget, in 2016, Hillary wanted to be the president of the United States of America.
Your daughter will grow up and become the president of the United States.
She wanted to be the president so badly that she had to concoct some way of taking Donald Trump. Remember in 2016 in the summer, rallies, thousands and thousands of people all over the place. Hillary could do all she could to get 50, 60, 100, 200 people. Trump's rolling like crazy. Hillary's declining. She's falling down. She had to come up with some plan. This plan is a B movie out of Hollywood, but it's very simple. She concocted, with all her years of swamp creatures in Washington, a spy plan to elevate her to president by destroying Donald Trump. And John Durham was assigned in May of 2019 by Bill Barr to investigate this whole hoax. So for the next few minutes, we're going to take you through this step by step. And we're going to maybe do something a little differently than the New York Times believes, because we read this just the other day. Charlie Savage of the New York Times said, Durham's filing on February 11th was a mistake, primarily because he tends to involve dense and obscure issues, so dissecting them requires readers to expend significant mental energy and time. So the lead investigative writer for the New York Times says, the people can't understand this. They got to spend time and use mental energy to understand what's going on. Then he concludes, listen to this. Once we read this, we knew we had to do something. He says, Durham raises the question of whether news outlets should even cover such claims.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here. Please.
When the New York Times is going to spike a filing, a legal filing, and Hillary Clinton has to start attacking Donald Trump, it's time for you to be introduced in this B horror movie to the primary cast of players. And these are the most dominant instigators of this fraud, this crime against President Donald Trump, even when he was a private citizen. We're going to see Hillary. She's at the center of everything. Michael Sussmann, already been indicted. He worked for Perkins Coie back in 2016. Also was an attorney for the Clinton campaign. We're going to see Rodney Jaffe. Jaffe's tech number one. He's the internet guru from South Africa who basically ran. He was the instigator organizer of the complete fraud, bringing all the elements together. We're going to see Mark Elias. He was another attorney with Perkins Coie. He was general counsel for Hillary Clinton's campaign, mobbed up in this whole Russian fraud. And obviously the company Perkins Coie, huge international legal organization, but primarily doing a lot of work for the DNC, the Hillary Clinton campaign, and for Democrat operatives. They are in a bind. Those are the key players. What brings all of them together? What thread ties all these individuals together in this caper, in this crime? And it's the checkbook written by Hillary Clinton. She paid the organizations who paid the individuals. Two, remember our overriding concept? Hillary Clinton led a Democrat spy ring to elevate her to president and destroy Donald Trump. Follow the money. She wrote the checks. to the law firms who wrote the checks to the individuals. Hillary Clinton's money and motivation is behind the whole caper. Let's go to factual background. In John Durham's filing, remember, in September 2021, the grand jury filed an indictment against Michael Sussmann for lying to the FBI back in 2016, September 2016, just before the election on November 8, 2016. Now, Sussmann pleaded not guilty, but he's going to trial. Unless, of course, Hillary Sussmann flips. You never know. In any event, from September 2021 to now, February 2022, Durham's investigation has revealed potential conflicts with Sussmann's legal team, who are also representing other individuals in this caper, which would result in a conflict. So, the name of the filing is the government's motion to inquire into potential conflicts of interest. John Durham's motion is simply saying, a Sussmann, you're going to get messed up as we start unveiling more criminals in this caper, and you're not going to be able to say, oh, I got a conflict now. We're telling you ahead of time, your firm that's representing you is also representing others that we may or may not be going after. That's the language it uses. So wise up. Well, to support his theory that this is a spy ring, Durham says, in support of this motion, he says, I'm presenting the following factual background. Every oppositional article on this filing has referenced the factual background, saying it's improper, it's wrong, it shouldn't have been done. Watch the factual background, and this is a bombshell. I don't like even using that term. This is a bombshell filing. Here we go. The defendant. Whenever there's the defendant, or Tech 1, Tech 2, I'm using the terms, we know who they are. Michael Sussmann is charged in a one-count indictment with making a materially false statement to the FBI in violation of, and then the code is cited. As set forth in the indictment back on September 19th, 2016, this was a very significant day, less than 2 months before the presidential election. This is crunch time, 2 months to go for the election. Sussmann, a lawyer at a large international firm, that firm is Perkins, was serving as counsel to the Clinton campaign. So he's working for Perkins Coie, and he's counsel for Hillary Clinton's campaign. He meets with FBI General Counsel James Baker at the FBI headquarters in Washington. Now imagine this. How does Sussmann walk off the street, go into the FBI, and give this derogatory, these lies, white papers, thumb drives, to the chief counsel for the FBI, Jim Baker? How does that work? Well, in a previous life, Michael Sussmann worked in that building. He interfaced in that building. He worked for the Department of Justice, which oversees the FBI, and his area of expertise was cybersecurity. So Sussmann has the gravitas, the credentials to speak to the FBI about cybersecurity, spies, and espionage, and information. So on that level, he can go into the FBI and talk to them. But also, he's going back into the swamp. When he was at the DOJ, he hung out with all the guys at the FBI. They worked together. This is a swamp creature meeting designed to take Donald Trump down on that infamous day, September 19, 2016. But you would ask yourself, why would Hillary Clinton hire Michael Sussmann with this kind of background on all of this to be one of her chief lawyers on her 2016 campaign? Why would she do that? For this very reason, because he had those credentials, that experience, and that access to the FBI, so they take his nonsense, his lies, his fabrications seriously to initiate an investigation into Trump, his family, his friends, and everybody else. That's why Hillary hired Michael Sussmann. She's no dummy. All right, so what happens next? Well, Sussmann then provides Baker with purported data and, in quotes, white papers. White paper is a scholarly analysis, short paper of a particular subject. So Sussmann brings in purported data, white papers, and also some thumb drives that allegedly demonstrated, here we go, folks, a covert communications channel between the Trump organization and a Russia-based bank known now as the Alfa Bank. Alfa Bank is the largest private bank in Russia, and it's also got a direct line to the Kremlin. It's a private bank. This is what an oligarchy is. Private bank connected to the Kremlin. So Sussman is telling James Baker, we got Trump, baby. We got him. I got papers here. I got thumb drives. I'll show you the connection between Trump and the Russians. He's a spy for the Russians. All right. So what happens next? Well, the defendant provided general counsel with the white papers, and the indictment in September of 2021 alleges that the defendant lied at that meeting to James Baker, counsel for the FBI. He lied by falsely stating to Baker that he was not providing the allegations to the FBI on behalf of any client. In fact, Sussman says he assembled and conveyed the allegations to the FBI on at least two specific clients. So here's what's going on. Baker asks him, who are you representing? You're a lawyer with a gigantic firm, and you got unbelievable information on Donald Trump being a spy. Who do you represent? And Sussman says, I don't represent anybody. I'm a good American. I'm patriotic. I salute. I do all this stuff. I'm here. You're not representing any clients? Nope, no clients whatsoever. He was representing two clients. He was representing technology executive number one. Technology executive number one is Rodney Joffe, Joffe, who was at a U.S.-based internet company, which was Newstar, and he was representing a second client. Guess who the second client was? Oh, let's think. How about Hillary Clinton? He was representing the Clinton campaign when he walked into the FBI 2 months before the election and said, we got Trump. And I came up with this all by myself. And we continue. The defendant's billing records, that's Michael Sussman's billing records, reflect that Sussman repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign, repeatedly billed Hillary Clinton for Sussman's work on the Alfa Bank allegations. There's receipts, folks. There's thousands of hours of work. Special Prosecutor Durham has these receipts in this file. Follow the money. The defendant and Rodney Joffe also met and communicated with another law partner. Oh my God, the swamp is growing here. General counsel to the Clinton campaign lawyer number one. Well, who is that? General counsel in 2016 on September 19th was Mark Elias. He worked for Perkins. So Mark Elias working for Perkins, Michael Sussman, Perkins, and Rodney Joffe, the tech expert from South Africa, they have a meeting and they discuss the continuation of the fraud against Donald Trump. So who is Mark Elias, and really what has he been involved in? Well, in 2016, he was one of the top attorneys for the DNC, Democrat National Committee, and he's also a 28-year partner with Perkins Coie. Perkins is also a big firm, international firm, representing the DNC and senators and congressmen, and Elias specifically represented a lot of Democrat individuals in all kinds of political battles. And this guy knew dirty tricks. When you wanted somebody to implement a dirty trick campaign,
you don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer.
And Mark Elias was your guy. And Hillary knew that. That's why she hired Mark Elias to be the lead counsel for her 2016 presidential campaign. She said, Mark, you're my guy. You got to take care of Trump for me. Now, look, Mark Elias knew exactly what Hillary Clinton's problem with Trump was. You see, at that point, 2016, it's March. Donald Trump is on a roll. People love him. He's all over the place. He's got gigantic crowds. And Mark Elias knew that basically people hate Hillary Clinton. But his job was to switch that paradigm. All right, so what happens next? The timeline is very, very important. Remember that infamous meeting where Sussman goes into the FBI headquarters to talk to Jim Baker, September 19th, 2016. Well, let's go back to March of 2016. That's when all of this really started. And it started with Hillary's checkbook. She started writing checks to Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie sending Mark Elias out to figure out how to take Donald Trump down. He comes up with a plan to hire Fusion GPS, the Dirty Tricks organization. They hire Christopher Steele, former MI6 spy out of England, to go to Russia or figure out how to get Russian dirt to somehow have derogatory information against Donald Trump. And a dossier is put together. What's a dossier? A file. Bits and pieces of information to put a profile together to accomplish an objective. What is the objective in this case? Take down Donald Trump, elevate Hillary to president. That dossier, known as the Steele dossier, better known as the PP dossier, fake, a hoax, a lie, proven so by our government at a later date, becomes the predicate for going after Donald Trump as a spy against America for Vladimir Putin. It all started on March of 2016 with Hillary's checkbook. All right, so all this Russia nonsense that you've been hearing, the name of George Papadopoulos, Carter Page, that strange character, Mifsud, ambassadors from Australia, Christopher Steele, all of this began in March of 2016. Mark Elias hiring Fusion GPS, concocting this whole deal. And we can look at that day back in March of 2016 as patient zero, the beginning of the spy Russia hoax about Trump being a spy for Putin. All right, now I want you to get this because this is very, very interesting. On September 19th, 2016, that's when Michael Sussmann goes into the FBI headquarters to meet with James Baker. On that same day, there's a team of FBI agents at the FISA court, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, at the FISA court applying for a warrant to start a FISA investigation, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. They're getting a warrant to say that foreign actors are involved with Americans here in the Trump campaign. And that FISA warrant was against Carter Page based upon what? The foolish, lying, crazy, nonsensical hoax of a document, the Steele dossier. Yes, you heard that right. The head counsel of the FBI, James Baker, he was involved in every aspect of the Steele dossier, was seeking a FISA warrant to surveil the Trump campaign using the fabricated Steele dossier as the predicate to launch a very, very, very serious counterintelligence investigation. And he was meeting with a lawyer from the Hillary campaign, Michael Sussmann, saying that Trump had a secret back channel to Vladimir Putin. A coincidence? No. So, what happened before that Sussmann-Baker meeting? Let's go back to the Durham filing. The indictment also alleges that beginning in approximately July 2016, we got several important dates. We got September 2016, the meeting with the FBI. We have March 2016, Elias initiating Fusion GPS. Now, Durham interjects a new date in 2016. The indictment also alleges that beginning in approximately July 2016, Tech Executive One, we know him to be Rodney Jaffe, had worked with the defendant, Michael Sussmann, a U.S. investigative firm. We know that firm is New Star, and a law firm, Perkins Coie, on behalf of the Clinton campaign. Right here in black and white, Durham says the whole cabal was on behalf of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. But she also wanted a bunch of other people hired. And Sussmann and Jaffe went out and hired, now I'm reading back, numerous cyber researchers were hired and employees at multiple internet companies. They were hired to assemble the purported data and the white papers. That was reading from the Durham report. So then Hillary tells Perkins to hire these people, write these technical papers, put this dirt together. And what do the tech people do? Well, here's the bombshell, folks. Listen to this from the Durham filing. In connection with these efforts, let me underscore, I'm now reading from John Durham's February 11, 2022 filing. He says, in connection with these efforts, all the efforts of Hillary's campaign to initiate an investigation into Trump using all these computer experts, in connection with these efforts, Jaffe exploited, very important word, Jaffe exploited his access to public and non-proprietary internet data. Well, you look at the word exploited, you go, what does that mean? Well, we went to Technopedia, the place for definitions for terms used within the technology industry. And here's the definition of the term exploited. In computer terms, exploit is a general term for any method used by hackers to gain unauthorized access to computers. Let me underscore, unauthorized access to computers by whom? By hackers. So Hillary Clinton's campaign tells Perkins to go hire hackers who have the special ability to hack government computers in order to develop what? Well, let's continue with the Durham report. He says the government's evidence at trial, government has evidence, there's going to be a trial, will also establish that among the internet data that Rodney Jaffe and his associates exploited, or as we now know, hacked, was, and here's the information in the filing, in Durham's filing, the DNS domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to one, a particular healthcare provider, we know that to be Spectrum in Michigan, 2, Trump Tower, hacked, 3, Donald Trump's Central Park West apartment building, hacked, they went into his apartment building, and 4, this is mind-boggling, into the EOP, Executive Office of the President. The hacking continued from his homes and office buildings in New York all the way to his new home at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the Executive Office of President. This is an unbelievable crime. Hacking continued against the President of the United States in his home at the White House. All right, so what in the world was the idea of the Clinton spy campaign hacking into the DNS servers, domain name system servers, through their base of operation at Georgia Tech University? What was that all about? You got to know a little bit about a DNS, and simply that's a phone book for the internet. If I were to type Walmart.com, the DNS server changes those letters to a numerical code, digital code, and those codes communicate between computers. Very simple. What the hacking team was looking for, led by Jaffe and his researchers at Georgia Tech, who had government access to a whole variety of servers and could get to the Trump properties when he was a private citizen, and even after the campaign ended, to the Executive Office of President when he was president, their desire was to find numerical codes going from Trump devices to the Alpha Bank in Moscow, and that Alpha Bank had a connection to the Kremlin, directly to Vladimir Putin. That was the whole spy caper in a nutshell. Well, through their investigation, they could not find DNS linkage between Donald Trump, his devices privately or in the White House, to the Alpha Bank. So as you'll see in subsequent information from Durham and our presentations, the researchers actually combined their thinking together as to how they could fabricate the information, but they had to do it in such a way that it would pass public scrutiny. You can actually look into their thought processes on how to fake information from Donald Trump's devices and make it look like he's a spy for Putin, knowing all the time this was fake. All right. So what is the motivation of Rodney Jaffe to concoct this fabricated hoax about Donald Trump being a spy for Vladimir Putin? And don't forget, this DNS information, these digital fingerprints, these are used as forensic evidence every day in court. This is indisputable information. And if you tweak it, fabricate it, concoct it, it's there, it's seen, it's evidence. And Durham has all of this information. So why would Rodney Jaffe risk not only his career, but the career of all these researchers at Georgia Tech and other locations to get everyone involved in what is obviously a criminal hoax? Well, don't forget, we're in the summer of 2016. Hillary wants to be president just a couple of months away. Jaffe was told he'd have a preeminent position in the Clinton campaign if she won. So for him, it was full speed ahead, whatever it takes. And he was telling these technicians, you'll be with me. You get this done. We got to please certain VIPs. And Durham delineates in his February 11th filing exactly who the VIPs were. Jaffe says, we have to impress certain VIPs. Law firm one, Perkins Coie. Why? He's getting paid by Perkins. He wants to show his bosses, I'm doing a job. I got the dirt on Trump. And the other VIP that Jaffe wanted to impress, none other than Hillary Clinton at the Clinton campaign. All right, so what in the world is Hillary Clinton's big idea? What is her grand strategy? Why is she writing all of these checks, $1 million+ starting back in March of 2016? What was behind all of this? Well, she was buying herself an October surprise. She needed that last-minute surprise that would put her over and make her president. And what was that surprise? She releases a statement to the press, on Twitter, everywhere else, and listen to the headline of this press release. October 31st, 2016, 8 days before the election. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. This could be the most direct link yet between Donald Trump and Moscow. She actually put this out in a press release on October 31st, 2016. That was Hillary's grand plan. An October surprise. Donald Trump is a spy. Make me the president. Okay, why do we keep reiterating? The best way to understand this caper is that Hillary Clinton led a Democrat spy ring to elevate her as president and destroy Donald Trump. Why are we saying that? This is the context to understand this legal document. Because that's exactly what happened. It's totally true. Her campaign, she's out, I need money to be president. You want me to be president. We got to get rid of Donald Trump. The money's pouring in. She's writing checks to Mark Elias, to Perkins, to Sussman for work on concocting a plan that everybody knew was false, but she had a lust for power so great, she had to do it. And she brought all her swamp creature friends in. Well, at least that's what Fox believes. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. This was not written by Fox. This was written by Special Prosecutor John Durham and his investigative team. That's what they believe. Durham has compiled 625,000 pages of evidence through the discovery process and investigation. 625,000 pages. If you took all of that and piled it end on end, it would go up about 70 yards. If you spread it out on a football field, it would almost cover the complete football field of written information on this case. You think all of that is just against Michael Sussmann for lying to an FBI agent back in 2016? Durham has compiled a comprehensive case, a sophisticated case, a detailed case that is going to stretch widely and deeply against those who committed crimes against the President of the United States of America as president and as citizen. And at the forefront of all of this is one woman who lusted to be president of the United States, but isn't. And the simplest way to understand this complex case is to recognize that Hillary Clinton led a Democrat spy ring to elevate her as president by destroying Donald Trump. It is really that simple, that devious, and that sad.